Did you vote Conservative in the last?
I did.
And what made you go off then?
Well, the way the country is being run now.
I did, yes. I voted for Boris, unfortunately. It happened. Never vote for Tories again.
Today is an unmitigated disaster for the Conservative Party. Today, the swing to Labour in Wellingborough in this town is the biggest in any post-war election since literally 1945. And to put it into other context, if the swing here was repeated in every town across the UK, there would be 4 Conservative MPs left by Christmas after the general election. But this isn't Blair in 1997. People aren't going to Labour. About 100 people went to Labour at the polls last night that didn't in the last election. And 24,000 Conservative voters didn't show up at all. And in a town as small as this, 24,000 people that voted in the last election that didn't show up is devastating for democracy. So Conservative voters stayed home. And I want to speak to those people. I want to speak to the people in this town who stayed home. So I went to the local working men's clubs, I went to the Wetherspoons, and it was filled with Conservative voters that did exactly that didn't show up.
I've always voted Tory. I've never voted anything else but blue.
And why is that? What's the main reason for that?
Passed down from a family.
First time this town has switched, right? And why do you think it did?
Because of the Tory cock-up in the main Westminster party.
Because you voted Conservative. Why do you think so many other people in the town decided not to vote that are traditionally Conservatives?
Probably just disillusioned with them, I suppose.
I'm just not surprised.
Well, so about 20,000 Tory voters in this town didn't show up at all. They didn't vote Labour instead, they just didn't show up. Why is that?
I don't know, because the trust in politics. There's no trust at all. Look at this town. It used to be high, it used to be big markets. Look at it now. They haven't got a clue. As I would never vote for Labour after Tony Blair's term.
Did you vote Conservative in the last?
I did.
And what made you go off then?
Well, the way the country is being run now. You know, and that's it. Unelected Prime Minister, PPE scandal with Baroness Moan, the way she... Well, it's all been brushed under the carpet. You don't hear nothing about it now.
I'm quite pleased they lost, actually. I don't believe none of what they stand for, because they say one thing and do another. Yeah, all little liars, I'm afraid.
And have you voted Conservative in the past?
I have, yeah. But at that time, they seemed quite a good party, but now it's just pure crap. Sorry.
And how have you voted Conservative in the past?
Yes.
But this time you decided
Didn't
no?
vote Conservative, no. People are too apathetic, I think, can't be bothered to go and vote.
I did, yes. I voted for Boris, unfortunately. It happened. Never vote for Tories again. Maybe the Brexit vote helped as well. So that was another thing, because that's come through the system. So
Okay.
I feel it wasn't explained to us how it should have been explained to us. But everybody told us we're going to get £32 million a day to pay into the NHS. It don't work like that. And it hasn't worked like that. And we know we won't now, because we're all paying more money for different stuff.
I spent years covering Brexit voters who were lied to about the 350 million figures, who say that they would never vote for politicians again. And this time was coming, and it's really, really come home to roost, especially here. It's not that they're changing sides, it's that they've given up on the entire political system.
I've always voted Conservative in the past.
And is this the first time you
This
have?
is the first time I've not voted Conservative. They keep bringing out these good things, but they never follow them through. One little thing, they say, "Oh no, we can't do that. We can't do that." Why bring it out? They're not gonna make anything happen in this country, and they don't deserve to be there.
People are not voting for anything. Yeah, they don't want to vote.
Always been a Conservative, but now I'm a Reform.
Yeah. But 24,000 people here have not voted who voted Conservative last time. They just didn't vote for anyone at all.
No, because they've just give up on it. They all promise you everything, and as soon as they get into power, you get nothing.
That's what I said. They're just giving up on. They're giving up on the people who run this town. They're giving up on it completely. Yeah.
What do you think happens to a society when people stop voting, altogether?
Democracy will go out the window. Because if no one votes, your democracy goes. And that's it.
Yeah, no, so it would have been Labour. My granddad was Labour many, many years ago, and I've always been told to vote Labour, and I've always voted Labour every year. But the last couple of years, well, every 4 years, obviously, I've just not voted. Just don't trust anybody. Just.
Do you think that's a bit because of how the Conservatives have behaved?
Yeah, absolutely.
With the pandemic and that?
But it's also the same with everyone talks about the same, what they're going to do, what they're going to achieve, and then nothing ever happens, nothing changes.
You just you give up in the end. You think, why am I voting for these people?
That's it.
They're not doing nothing to be positive. I might just sit back and let what goes on go with the flow. So I don't want to vote anymore.
Regardless of the results and regardless of who's going to win, in this small town, 24,000 people didn't show up to the polls that showed up at the last election. And that is devastating for democracy. They cite the lies and the corruption of the government for the last decade as the reason for their despair. And that's why people stayed home.
Well, I don't think people should stop voting. I do really think people should vote because, especially for women, a lot of people put themselves about to get the women's vote. And I think people should vote, but you can't tell people what to do unless you live in Russia or somewhere. Okay?
Thank you. That was lovely. Thank you for talking to us.
Bye.